This is ACOFAE. Laura Marie and Jessica Marie proudly present A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, a podcast. Fair warning, everything the hosts say is explicit, full of spoilers and adult content and shall not be used against them. They have opinions. Let's try not to drag anyone for expressing themselves and just have fun for an hour. We all deserve it.
This episode briefly mentions Dune, the Shadow Wand, and Shadows and Lies. There's also mention of death of a family member.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, your weekly deep dive into the YA literature and fandoms that we love. I'm Laura Marie. Jessica Marie is here too. This is part 2 of Kingdom of Copper. Enjoy.
I have a question. Is Ghassan blinded that he is not liked as a king? Like, I feel like, how does he not know? People are constantly saying, like, you're shitty, people hate you, like, but he's like, I don't care, I'm the king, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like because he's older, he's been alive for a very long time, he's been in power for a very long time, his family's been in power for a long time. I feel like if you're raised in that situation, you have kind of this indestructible ego that takes...
And a sense of entitlement.
Yeah. So that by the time an event happens to shatter your ego, you are dead because it's too late.
Which is what happens.
Which is what happens.
Which
yeah.
is exactly what happens.
So those are just my thoughts. Okay. Nahri heals Ali, obviously, but she's also like, hey, you fucking owe me. So I want to do this like hospital thing, and you and I are going to do it together, and we're going to pitch it to your dad. And yeah, you're going to do this with me. You little shit. You little shit. This is how you make it up to me. And then we have my second favorite scene in the book, which is this tense as fuck, awkward family breakfast. I love it. I love it because Muqtadir is like this and like the queen's like, everybody, and Zainab is just trying to get everybody to talk. And Ghassan is just leaning back, enjoying his family squirm. And you just see like the shit eating grin on his face. He's like, tell me about this hospital. Pitch it to me. Oh, I love it. And then the women start all working together.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was like, Zainab is she's like, oh, come on, Dad. Like, this could be your crowning achievement with the Deva community. This can be what you leave. And he's like, oh, daughter, stroking my ego. And she's like, well, that's the only thing that'll appease. That's the only way we know to appease you or something.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, all right. I want to be the one to have a good reign and bring the people together because this is the most important thing. He's like, yeah, I'll give your support to the hospital. You have to do this, this, and this. But sure.
And one of the things he's like, but make it clear that this is your idea, Nahri. This isn't ours. We do not want to attach the Khatani name to it. Because that way, if and when it goes to shit, he's like, we didn't support it. She did this of her own volition.
Yep. But then he's like, Muqtadir, though, you're going to go to the temple. You're going to go with her. You're going to show the support. That's what's going to happen. And Muqtadir's like, fuck, man, I really don't want to. And he ends up getting too shit-faced to go when they have to go. And that's when Ali shows up. And I love it, too, because Nahri's like, Ali, where's your brother? What is going on? He's supposed to be here. If he is not here, these elders are not going to take me seriously. They're not going to grant their permission. This is where she says, I don't need your permission. But the elders aren't going to grant the permission if they don't think I have the support of at least my husband. We need a Khatani here. And Ali's like, I'll fix it. And he steals all of Muqtadir's clothes and he dresses up really flamboyant, and Zainab's there too. And she's done up to the nines, and they're just like, hey. I loved it.
I thought it was so fun. I continue to love Zainab and Nahri's relationship. with each other and just the female camaraderie there. And I love, and he's like, oh, fix it. Cause she called him out on it. She's like, you fucked up my life. You keep ruining it. You didn't even think with some of your actions. You thought only about yourself, not how it impacted other people. And he, tail between his legs, admitted that. And so when he's like, I'll fix it. Like, I love that part. He's like, I'm like, yeah, the fuck you will.
Yeah, the fuck you will. The fuck you will fix it. Yeah. But then of course Nahri is just like, I don't need your permission. I'm doing this anyway. We're all supporting it. And then everybody kind of gets on board, which is really good. But then there is the attack, right? And what is it? It's the attack on the work camp in front of the hospital.
Is that before or after? First they go to the temple and ACOFAE's there, and that threw them for a loop. And they were like, well, that's when Jamshid was like, well, he was going to be here because like every time he returns from his travels, he comes
straight to the temple.
And they were like, oh, this puts such a dent in our plans because like ACOFAE is like really heavily doing espionage. Like the only person who knows is like Team Meniza.
Yeah, and at this point, ACOFAE has the vapor on the ring.
Yeah.
Because Meniza has perfected it in the camp by killing the Gaziri scouts by using their relic. She's done that. And Meniza's like, yeah, I can totally control the vapor. I can pull it back. Psych. I totally can, though. She's just lying, like, straight out of her ass.
Because the vapor is attracted to copper, no, right? That's like everybody who's having like different like relics on them that are copper based, and the whole city it's called the Kingdom of Copper. Like that's the name of the book.
Yep.
So I mean, like she's ready to just wipe them out.
Right. So let's put terms to actions. Like she's ready to commit genocide and does not give a single fuck about like the morality of it. She's like, no, they slaughtered our people. I'm going to slaughter them right the fuck back.
And even when revealing this information to Dara's like, what are you doing? Like, this is history repeating itself. You're basically doing the same thing. And she's very much eye for an eye. And he's like, this is not what I signed up for. And that's when, she, again, is putting him in his place. Like, I don't know what you thought my daughter was like. She might have thought you had all the power, but make no mistake, you belong to me. I'm the Nahid that you are swearing fealty to.
And meanwhile, Dara's having his own shit about his own identity, right? Because, like, he can turn into dry wind and he can travel quickly between places and he can, like, expand and, like, shape smoke and fire and blood into all of these things. He's very, very powerful. And he does start to, against his will, bond with some of the Ifrit that are with them in the camp, just because they're talking about, like, were centuries where I never had feet and I wandered the world, and there are worlds between worlds and among worlds, and we're not limited. We're not supposed to be limited to here. And of course, Dara has his own like identity crisis with that, because to him the Ifrit are evil, but then the Nahids, Meniza, who are supposed to be good, are the ones doing evil and asking him to commit these atrocious acts because they have now aligned with the Marid, talked to the Marid, killed the Acolyte, talked to the Marid, made the agreement to bring up the Citadel and to bring down the Citadel with the lake. All of that stuff is happening. Just, my God. But the attack on the hospital work camp has a scene in it that shocked me to my core. Do you know which scene that might be?
No, which one?
It's the one where Ghassan beats the absolute shit out of Ali in the street.
Oh, how public it was, because everything that Ghassan has doing up until this point has been all behind the scenes and kind of being like the puppeteer through it all.
Yeah. So for him to like go down there and start fucking screaming at him and being like, I told you not to come down here. Like, I know that you dragged Nahri down here and like she's doing I don't even want to talk about what she's doing at that point. He's like, no, this is here. This is here. I'm beating the shit out of you now. And he's not having it. He's like, I'm banishing you. Get the fuck out of here after Nagasadam. Like, this is done.
Which is so like the gaslighting, right? Because he's like, you put this on yourself. Meanwhile, I'm also like, did we not? All he wanted, he was like, I'll leave in a week. I'll leave in a week and I'll get out of your hair. And then, because of course, Ghassan has to have complete and utter control. He's like, no, you're going to stay here for all 7 months or 7 or 8 months till Navasatam, because it just optics. It just looks bad, because what does it say for the son of a king, the Qaed of my, like, the person, your brother, what does it say that you all of a sudden are leaving after a week? It's not good optics for our family. And now he's like, fuck all optics. You're getting out of here. And I'm like, part of me, like, not even part of me, it's another thing that Ghassan is put on himself. Like, you did this to yourself. None of this would be happening if you just let people do what they fucking wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah, and Kaveh, who has been left to do whatever the fuck he kind of wants to do up until this point, has been like kind of setting up these attacks, kind of manipulating events so that like Shafit are the ones being blamed, destabilization of Ghassan's rule, all of that stuff. So when fucking Fatima shows up in Ali's room, and of course Fatima being the old lady that ran the orphanage from book 1, when she shows up in Ali's room and is like, yo, there's an attack on Nagasatam coming. I'm just passing it along. BT dubs, BT dubs, BT dubs. And Ali's like, how do you know this? What is going on? But it is here, besides the warning that we get, it is here that we get the true kind of backstory on the hospital, right? And kind of a little bit more backstory on the initial revolt of Zaidi al-Qahtani, which I thought was very, I don't know, it helped lay the foundations a little bit more because there are gaps, right? We haven't learned everything in that story yet. So Fatima basically tells us that Zaidi al-Qahtani, he was a soldier, and the Nahids in the hospital were experimenting on Shafit, and they made a poisoned like pox that went on scabbards. And so the soldiers had the swords and the scabbards, and they ended up taking them home. And then whoever touched or like were exposed to the scabbards died. So when Zaidi came back from wherever he was, his first family was dead from this Nahid created pox. And that was why his initial reason for starting the revolt. And all of that happened in the hospital in Daevabad. And it was like, oh, we could have just said that.
Yeah, that's the thing, that everything that she's finding out about the hospital, it doesn't feel so secretive.
We do get a little interesting flashback that I did love, and that was between Anahita and the Marid. And so she is the founder of Daevabad, right? She's the one. So she went and spoke the languages, and she had an 8-point star. And she said that she has been the one tasked to keep the Marids to heal, and she drains the lake and makes the island, and she has like a ring, and she made a bargain with the Marid, all of that stuff, and like, you will be called to account if you bother us, all of this. That bargain that was made, that is like Ali's dream, is setting up for the attack on Nagasadam. Like, this is with the lake and the Marid, the bargain, all of that stuff, the portal, everything. Fun stuff. And I know that it reminds me of something, and I cannot for the life of me put my finger on it. I don't know what it is, but that I cannot put my finger on what it is exactly.
If somebody knows, like, feel free to like send us a message to know what.
Yeah. Please, just let us know. But that instance does feel very familiar to me. I don't know why. Nagasadam, minus the attack that happens, sounds like a grand time. Do you agree?
Oh my gosh. So much fun. It reminded me of the just the concept of any type of tradition celebrating. I mean, they even said like everybody drinks. They joke that it's when basically the entire community gets repopulated because everyone's just doing whatever they want to do. It just seems fun, and it's a celebration. That's what it is. It's what it comes down to, is a celebration amongst the community and that they're there and alive.
Yeah. So it's a Deva celebration. And something that Nahri says that I really love, she's like, how dare they attack me in my city on my holiday in my palace? It's just like, yeah, own it, own it, own it.
But in this time, Ali and his mom are going for strolls. She's trying to find out more about what's going on. She obviously knows that Ali is a Marid now, and they go to meet Issa. And Issa is this scholar. He is a translator of scrolls. And we find out that Issa has the scroll that Ali and Nahri had sent out for translation back from book 1. So Issa kind of calls Ali out on it. They was like, you traitor, tell me what you know. He goes, what are you talking about? I don't know shit.
I can't read it.
I can't read it. And Queen is like, I want to know what the fuck is going on. Like, why are you attacking my son like this? And he's like, this was sent. And he goes, we sent it out. We didn't know what it said. We didn't know guess it was sent to you. That's all. You already know more than I do. But everybody in this room needs to tell me something so I know more about myself. And that's where his mom tells Issa the true, like, who Ali is, and now truly that he did come back from the dead, that he, that the Marid saved him, and, he's a water djinn of sorts. And then he shows some of his powers. And that's also where he finds out where his mom tells Issa, oh, no, he's not a water djinn, really. Like, this kind of runs in our family. And Ali's looking at his mom like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, I know you're trying to cover me, but like, what? She's like, yeah, Zainab had these powers also. And he goes, she did? And even as a reader, I'm questioning the whole thing. Like, is she trying to throw him off, or did she really have these powers when she was a kid? She's like, oh, they just grow out of it. And he hasn't grown out of his yet.
Yeah, his got stronger. But again, it's just another example of like mothering and mothering, right? It just very different, very different. I like her a lot.
But even when they come back from, when Ali and his mom come back from this stroll, you also have it's just like Ali and Muntadir having like their brotherly fighting daily at this point, it feels like, because they're both confronted by Ghassan about like, everybody knows, everybody's going to pick up on it. Like, get your shit together. And at this time, this is when they're interrupted with the lady. She just kind of bursts in and she was like, I was attacked and my husband died. It was, did she say a Deva? No, she said like the Shafites. They attacked her. But Ali isn't buying it for a second because he was like, why is this girl familiar? This was the girl. I recognized her. And that's when he was like, oh my gosh, this is the lady, because her mask fell. Her mask fell and he saw like behind the mask, and he goes, that was the woman who was in my bed to welcome me back from the Citadel in the first book. And Kaveh put her there. Mm-hmm. And so now he's like, this is completely orchestrated. Kaveh is up to some shit. I don't know what, but I don't trust anything going on right now.
Yep, because Kaveh is like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, he's like, oh, what are you going to do? You're not going to trust the victim? You're victim blaming now? And they're like, no, that's not what we're doing. But Ali, he's the only one who's made the connection. So that's why he's trying to inquire so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The soft spot that I have for Ali is just like so big, because the beautiful office that he makes in the hospital for Nahri, that's like this replica as best he can of Egypt, is the exact same thing that his dad, Ghassan, did for Ali's mom. He like made a replica of Dimitri for her, like in the palace, to like show her his love, and even though she was homesick. So Ali doing the same thing here, I thought was just like very, very sweet. And I don't think he even makes that connection, because at this point, Ali is like very clearly deeply in love with Nahri.
Yeah, everybody knows it. I mean, even Muntadir says to Zainab, he goes, see, told you he was smitten. And he's like, I'm not smitten. Quit talking about me, guys.
And when he does like have an internal monologue about Nahri, a lot of the times he does say like, she's my brother's wife, like my brother's wife, like she's my sister, like my brother's wife.
Like he has to remind himself, because he'll say like, gosh, she looks so pretty. Like he just, and then he'll be like, and then sometimes he'll say his internal thoughts out loud. And he's like, I mean, like your clothes are nice, not like you.
Yeah, it's like, it's nice. So when Nahri walks in on him sleeping in the office that she created for him, and he looks at her and he's just like, and he wakes up like, and he's looking at her like she's a dream. He's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. She's like, this old thing? Really? This diadem? Really?
Oh, the diadem. Who wouldn't want to like, oh, okay.
It's a very like sweet opening night for the hospital. It's like a crowning achievement, right? This is like what they've all worked for. It's finally accomplished. Everything is happening. Like everything is clicking. It's supposed to be this grand thing. And then Muntadir fucking calls out Ali in the like archery contest, and they have this like huge, awkward, public brother fight. Like I was cringing the whole time.
Oh, and you knew it was. I remember before we started recording, I think it was like last night, you were like, you really love the dynamic between Muntadir and Ali in this book, because it does very much feel portrayed as like real life, like a real sibling dynamic. There is some sort of natural competition, and something that Zainab kind of, after this specific archery competition, she kind of pulls them aside, like, where are my brothers? She's
oh my God, wait. That is my favorite scene.
Oh, I love them. And she's just like,
in the closet?
Yeah, in the closet. She's like, thanks, I'll handle it. She's like, you're being dudes. What is this? You are like, you're my brothers. And she's realizing finally, I think, that her father has been using them as pawns against each other forever. And that shows in the competitiveness and trying to outdo each other in order to shaming each other in public. She's like, we do have to present some sort of united front. And then of course, this is where like they're like, are we really, somebody has to put dad into check. And this is where like, are we really setting up a coup in a closet? Like, what is going on?
Well, Muntadir's like, we can't scheme in a fucking closet, y'all. Like, what are we doing? He's like, I need to not be sober. What is this?
Yeah, he's like, I need a drink. I need a drink when I see the face, when he finds out that this is going on. Like, I can't do this.
And Ali's like, don't drink that. That's like wood polish or like weapons polish. Don't drink that. Like, and Zainab's like, we're scheming in a closet. It's very fun. That is my favorite moment, because those siblings are like finally kind of over the bullshit. They're kind of recognizing like, dad, we need to take dad down. Like we can't, this is wrong. What he's doing is wrong. And they're kind of like, fuck. And Muntadir is kind of finally just like, fuck it. God damn it. All right. And I like that, because up until this point, because like they just had a huge public fight. So it is in this like closet. My note says closet sibling plotting and bonding. And like all good, political dramas, we have, bonding over plotting. But I love it. I love it because it's really from this point on, because like right after that, the attack on the Nagasadam parade with Nahri happens, where Nasreen is killed and all of the Shafit, Nahri starts healing the Shafit. It's really from here on that the book takes like a dramatic slide to the end, and it's like bam, 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 bam until it's over.
As fantasy books do. Yeah. But you need everything leading up into this point.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And I think that's also part of like building the background of the economic troubles and the the fumes and the fires being lit of the tribe's problems and everything going on. And then Ali building a life in the desert and coming back and winning the loyalty of the people, which he eventually does, pretty much right next. It is all just really good.
Yeah, I was going to say it's world building, but it's not. But I think it's just, again, a testament to the author where you don't feel inundated with all this information.
And I also don't feel that it's dragging either. No. Because there is a time jump, but there are little time jumps in between events too, a couple weeks here, a couple months here, on and on and on. And it's kind of through Nahri's, I guess all three of our narrators, kind of daily interactions with people that you do really get a sense of who they are and what they're standing for and their environment, which is, of course, just stunning. I, again, was surprised that the Shafit attack Nahri and the Nagasatam parade with guns. I know that they have said that there's guns in Daevabad and that there are guns in the first book and the iron. I understand that, but I was still taken aback.
Yeah, and obviously so was Nahri, because she's oh my gosh, these are human tools. These are human weapons. This looks so bad. And you see it at the end of the book too, where I think it's Manaiza and Dara are I can't believe she gave the ring back to the people who took it from us. And I think it's a testament, and we're talking about, the Solomon seal and the ring that goes with that. But I think that's just a testament to who Nahri is as a person, that it doesn't matter who you are. It matters what is right and what is important.
Oh, that's one of my other favorite moments is that before we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. So because of the Shafit have attacked, Nahri is in the hospital. Rumi fire was used, which is flaming pitch, I think, more like tar.
Yeah. It can't be put out by water. It has to be put out by a specific type of sand.
And Nahri uses her Nahid ability to create a sandstorm to kind of put out all of the Rumi fire. Specifically, though, Jamshid is hit and he is burned. And after, they heal him a little bit, they get the shirt off of him, but he is immediately 1,000% better.
Not just the wounds that that happened there, all the wounds that were still healing from 5 years ago that she has been slowly trying to work on throughout this whole book up until this point, where they do it in little increments, because every time she tries to heal him, his body goes hot. He's going to catch on fire. He has caught on fire. It's painful. She almost doesn't want to heal him because she feels that hurts him more than him just living with his chronic pain.
Yes. So we have to assume that the Rumi fire has burned the mark that Kaveh and Manaiza put on him to suppress his Nahid abilities, because he starts, talking in different languages.
Oh, Devasti, the only other, and that's when, wait, did she find out yet?
Actually, we can just go right there. Because.
Oh, they get caught. That's right.
So, Rajid. So Kaveh comes and is Nahri, Jamshid, Mutadir is hurt. He's in trouble. You need to come with me to the Grand Temple. That's where he is. And they're just okay, go. So they go.
Because Kaveh's trying to get them out of the line of fire because he knows that they're attacking the Citadel or something first. Okay.
Yeah. Because he knows Manaiza is attacking the Citadel. And it is when it is here that they run into Rajid, the guard, and it's here where they have that confrontation. And Rajid's just no, fuck it. I'm supposed to take Jamshid, you go this way, and Kaveh and Nahri, the king needs to see you on the roof. You have to go to the king right now. And this is the moment where the call to prayer starts to go in Gizaria, and that is Ali who has been plotting. That is Ali telling everybody the plan of Ghassan to annihilate and murder all of the Shafit. And that brings the Gizaria quarter and the Shafiq quarter under Ali's protection and sends the city into revolt. Ali doing the damn thing.
I know. And he was like having to fight for it because initially everyone's like, who's going to believe you? No one's going to believe, like, you're already, you've said some awful things. You have this pretty crappy reputation right now. But it works in his favor all the way up until the end too.
Yeah, it really does. So then Ali is now leading the revolt, and he says, like, the orders, Ghassan's orders that were being read through the call to prayer are going to be the first thing they read at my, like, trial for treason. Like, Ali knows he's done now.
Yeah.
He knows he's broken with his father. It's done. And Ali even says, like, no, I don't want to be king. Like, I'm doing this for the people. And I think Lubaid is like, yo, Ali, they're not like screaming for your brother in the streets to be king right now, my man. They want you. Like, be aware of this, which poor Ali just like never quite gets that. But it is here where the attack happens. Like, we have the attack through two different perspectives. We have it through Nahri's and Kaveh's perspective on the roof, and then you have it from Ali's perspective in the citadel. And from Ali's perspective, it's a bunch of flies, which is very poetic. They're sand flies. Ha ha ha, Dara. We get the joke. And the flies come in and distract everybody from the lake, which has turned itself into a giant monster to take down the citadel with the water. And then behind the monster that the lake has turned into is Dara and his warriors on like their magical flying horses. And that is and ghouls and Ifrit. And that is the attack that happens. But I mean, our boy Ali is a Marid. So like lake water is no thing for him.
But not everybody knows. So they're like, I can do it. And of course you have, and there were hundreds and hundreds of warriors. And, by the end of this fight, you find out that there's less than 24 left. And so his friend Lubaid is like, no, he can do it, because he knows now that Ali is a Marid, or has like the, is a water djinn. And we know that also from the beginning of the book, where Ollie's kind of swimming around. He goes, I haven't had to come up for air. So they were like, you just kind of hold the fort down here on the beach, wherever, if you can. And Ollie is in the water attacking people left and right, the Devas who are, attacking the city. And he's like, oh, there's 7? I could do that. Oh, there's 10? I could do. And he's counting them as he's like hacking through them. Honestly, like, okay, got 9 more, got 8 more, counting them down. And nobody can believe like one person did this all. But it's a combination of him being Marid and also his citadel training of this was what he was supposed to do to protect his brother. He was taught to fight. He was taught to be a weapon.
And he embraces his like Marid self, and he like uses the water as weapons. And he totally, you're right, just annihilates all of these soldiers on his way to the palace, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's going to the palace. He's on his way to the palace. So Ali is making his way to the palace and trying to rally people to him to get there. Meanwhile, Nahri, Ghassan, and Kaveh have a huge confrontation up on the roof. And I love it. It's the same place where they were all like stargazing not too long ago. But I love this reveal of Ghassan. Ghassan's like, yo, how do you think I knew? How do you think I knew all of this? By the way, I knew Kaveh, that Jamshid was Manai. I knew all of that. That didn't surprise me. I've been waiting forever to drop that on you.
Yeah, I feel like he's that person where you're like, fuck, every time you think you have something over on him, he's like, I'll let you think that. I'm glad. I think it's cute you think I don't know these things.
Yeah, he's like, I know everything. Nahri, like, why did I immediately know you? Like, not like a split second after looking at you. How did I know you? Because you have a shadow of Suleiman's seal on you. I see it. Just like Jamshid, just like all of them. Like, I see all of this. BT Dubs, that's your brother. BT Dubs. And also, Kaveh, fuck you because you got to fuck Manaiza. And this is where Nahri says one of my favorite lines. She's like, More or less. She's like, I'm fucking tired of all you old men arguing over this woman. Like, what is going on? Let's politic already. Like, why are we having
because she has no emotional connection to this person. I also like the scene where she was like, tell me, like, she went immediately into sister mode. She's like, I was already friends with Jamshed. Now tell me where my brother is. Doesn't even matter if it's stepbrother, half brother, full brother. This is my brother. I need to go protect him.
Yeah. And she does not like hesitate. She is like, where is he? And it's really good. But while she's like doing that, Kaveh is like, you know what? Fuck this whole situation. Bam, breaks the ring, does the thing. He does the thing. And the vapor comes out of the ring and Ghassan is killed almost instantly.
Yeah, there's just like a stillness and then he just goes like plops.
Yeah, the first time I read that, I was like, oh my God, they did it.
Every time something happened in this book, because the same thing happened with Nazreen, I was like, I always reread the scenes when the person actually dies because also I think they're going to come back, no head, not dead. But these two feel very dead in this book because it kind of propels the story. And there really isn't room for them to come back. Or at least that is my assumption. This is book 2. There still is another book.
This is true. But we're in like the back, like we are in the backslide of this. So what happens? Ali is intercepted by the Ifrit and taken to the palace, and Lubaid is killed. Again, another death that was just like, oh my God, he's actually dead. Whoa. But then Ali is in the palace, and then we have this exchange between Dara and Ali and the Ifrit, and the Ifrit almost put that slave, or they do put the slave ring on Ali, but they don't finish it. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, I was like sick that whole few paragraphs.
It wasn't activated, I guess, more or less, because it's also the first thing that she was like, give me your ring. How are you? And she's like, it wasn't on me long enough. Like, you're fine. And she just pockets it because she knows that ring will have, even though nobody's going to wear it, she knows the impact that ring will have and how it can work for them in the future. And it does as a decoy.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Oh, it's a good one too. So Nahri is standing over the dead body, more or less, of Ghassan, and when Muqtadir comes in, and I love that Nahri's like, I didn't do it. No.
It wasn't me because at this point, I think didn't Ghassan's guards also come in and were holding her back because Muqtadir was trying to get through, and he knew at that point that it wasn't her. Like, there was just too much going on.
Yeah. And then that's where the vapor starts to go towards Muqtadir. And that's when Nahri like runs and shoves him out of the room, and they tumble down the stairs, and she like rips the relic out of his ear. And he's like, oh, you really weren't in on it. She's like, I just threw myself down the fucking stairs to save you. Of course I'm not fucking in on it.
I love her so much.
It's like, duh, like use your fucking brain.
These
like,
boys, they're so dumb.
But it is now here where Nahri, Muqtadir, the Ifrit, and Ali, are all together now, right? So Ali and Dara, Muqtadir and Nahri, everybody sees each other. Everybody's looking at each other in the eye. It's like that Spider-Man meme.
That's what I was going to say, because she's also yelling at the Ifrit, get off of him, change your face. I know you're a shapeshifter. Like, you are not him. And he does the same thing that Jade does in Shadows and Lies. She's like, oh, I'm not Dara, what about this? What about this? What about the fact that you attacked me in kisses twice in a dark cave? And she's like, okay, it's you.
Okay. Damn. Not so loud. All right. But then she's also like, fuck you. What are you doing here?
I love that she keeps her her rage, her rightful rage throughout this whole book, and directed at the right people too.
Yeah. It is like unacceptable. So then when like Ali and Dara have like a fight, whatever, Nahri is like doing her whole thing, like, in my palace, fuck you. But this is the brother situation that I love too, because Dara's gonna he's gonna take Ali out. He's gonna take Ali out. And then Muqtadir comes in and he gets slashed by the Zulfikar. And of course, we know that that's poison fire. We know then that Muqtadir is guaranteed to die from this moment on for the rest of the book. But he saves Ali. And they have this great moment where it's like, I couldn't watch him kill you again. Like, I couldn't see it again. He's like, we're okay, Zadie. Like, leave me. You have to go. Like, I will take care of this. You go get the seal, because this whole thing now is they have to get Suleiman's seal out of Ghassan before Manaiza figures out how to do it. And Muqtadir has told Nahri how to do it, which is burn the heart. So, Muqtadir's like, go. I'll distract Dara.
I'll buy you some time. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when he takes the bow and he takes the arrows.
Because at this point, he's also already dying. So he's like, do this for me. Tell Jamshid I love him, that I kind of fucked up, but like, he needs to know this. And Dara also, like, as he's buying time, Dara's like, tell me where it is. Tell me where. And he's like, okay. Like, they ran off. He's like, if you don't tell me, I'm going to go after your brother. And, like, Muqtadir knows the kind of people that Ali and Nahri are. He's, like, not even concerned with them. But he's like, you're right. Like, they went down the staircase in the library, and you got to go here, and you just got to keep going all the way down. And he's like, and then Dara's like, wait, you're sending me to hell. You're sending me, and he's like, ha, yes, I am. It's so funny. That's how I imagined it in my head. And Muqtadir is like, yes. And at this point, Dara also realizes that he's poisoned. He's poisoned. But because of all his like years in war, he knows how slow the poison can take into effect. So he kind of like creates like, he kind of cuts off or like ties up the cut with Muqtadir's turban, and he's like, wait, what are you doing? And he's like, he brings him with him. Dara brings Muqtadir with him because he knows it'll be a slow death and is going to use it to his advantage as a pawn in a way, and as a weapon and as a bargaining chip. That's where I imagine where I saw it going, to be like, no, not yet. This is going to take long, and I can use this to my advantage.
Yes, somehow this will benefit me somehow. And it's through the conversations that Muqtadir and Dara have, though, with like the taunting, where Dara starts to doubt like Manaiza's justification on this genocide. He's like, I don't think this is right. This is probably wrong. But he, setting aside Dara for right now, the bringing down of the library roof on the Zahak, and right, do you want to see it?
I want to see it, but I also love where Nahri is like, I'm putting this on you. I am not taking the blame of losing all of these books, and knowing that it's set in Cairo and then, Daevabad, you're like, oh, the Library of Alexandria. Like, you can't help but go there immediately.
You're just like, ooh.
It's like, I'm not taking the blame for this. These are some really good books and really important books, and we need them.
This is your fault.
This is you.
Yep. It's like, but the wall the ceilings and the wall comes down and the water and the Zahak goes out. It's a very, very big cinematic kind of scene. Very good. All to take them up the book like chute to take them up to the landing so that they can get the seal. And they find Ghassan. His body is still there. It's been abused, which is like gross. I don't like that. But Nahri does get the seal ring out of his heart, and it's a black pearl ring. Very pretty.
8-point star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very pretty, very pretty. And here is our Manaiza reunion. Here it is. Oh my gosh, this is like
daughter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's like my daughter. And this is, again, we have had inklings throughout this book that Nahri was taken by the Marid because she was like found in a basket in Cairo, and Nahri, her name means like what it means, and she has like visions or whatever. But here we get a little bit of Manaiza, and Manaiza does exactly again like what happens in Shadows and Lies and what happened earlier. Manaiza's like, Nahri, you're Shafit. Like, of course. And Nahri is like, shh.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. But shit, now I know that your mom. Damn, not so fucking loud. Because Ali's like, what? You're Shafit? And Nari's like, oh my God, here we go. But again, I love a good, all of the tea outs moment.
She's saying it because it's like, give me the ring, sweet. She's very like condescending. Give me the ring. You can't put on the ring. You're not pure blood. You're mixed. And, and this is, just give me the ring. And at this point, we know she has 2 rings in her pocket. So, the other ring is going to go to her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just like, you're waiting. You're like here. And then even her mom's like, this is the ring. And she's like, I don't know. That's just the ring I saw. Yeah. thing. But I'm not going to lie, even though she does, we're at the end of the book and Nahri puts the ring, the actual Suleiman seal, like the ring on Ali. I was really hoping she was going to put it on herself to be like, guess we'll find out. And then her just actually like the rules not applying to her. That's what I was so excited for. I will say that was what I was hoping and expecting. And like, haha, like, what do you think now, Mom?
Yep. I was expecting that too. And I remember the first time I read this, I was kind of like disappointed in the ending. I was like, oh, damn. But again, this is a book too. Upon a reread, I appreciate the utter chaos that Nahri and Ali left in their wake, right? Like the consequences of actions.
Yeah. You jump, I jump.
Yeah, you jump, I jump. So, okay. So what has happened? What has happened? Manaiza has said, like, give me the ring. You'll be a goddess, whatever. You will rule, whatever. And Nari's like, no, I'm going to fucking throw it. No, don't play with me. And Manaiza's like, you're not going to do it. And Nari's like, you don't know me.
She doesn't. And that's one of the things that I love also about Nahri in this book is she's calling everybody out on their shit. Like, she's like, do it. I dare you. I double down, like, because Ghassan tried to do it earlier. I'm the one who knows the truth. I'll tell everyone you're Shafi. Okay. Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
If you're already having these threats at this point, it is literally nothing lost on me.
And also, this is, again, I really appreciate Ali because Ali initially scandalized that Nahri Shafit. But then when he hears this gaslighting that Manaiza is trying to do, like, you're not strong enough. It's pure blood only. Blase, blase. Ali's like, bullshit. Suleiman had human blood. This is asinine. Don't listen to her.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And he's
yeah, and then Manaiza's like, oh, but he was a prophet.
It's different. It's different for him.
Yeah, for him, he can have human blood, but he was a prophet. He was chosen. It's different. I still like Ali's just like, bullshit. It's so good. It's good. So then again, just like you said, Nahri gives Manaiza the emerald ring, not Suleiman's seal. She gives Suleiman's seal to Ali, and then they just take like a swan dive.
Yeah, another swan. Roof. You love a swan dive situation.
I do love a swan dive situation. And they make it into the lake, and it's very like a bone-crushing kind of impact. And it is here where Nahri has a vision of like brown eyes and being like put under the water and like taken by the Marid. Very fun. Interesting shit. So that is like almost the end. We have a little bit of the consequences. We see the consequences that are happening as soon as Ali and Nahri are gone. Mutadir is fine because his cut was a magical cut. It's magical poison. It's magical fire. So with the seal ring being gone and magic being extinguished in Daevabad, Mutadir is perfectly healthy. And I love that for him because he has like, he was ready. Like he was ready to die. Yeah. And then when he gets this reprieve, he breaks down. And I do really feel for him, about that. Cause I do at this point have started to really enjoy Mutadir as a character.
Yeah. Mutadir, I feel like he's I liked him in the beginning of the book too, because of how respectful he was with Nahri. And then even earlier, like even after the prologue, and hey babe, like, hey wife, it's been a while since you've come to my bed, and like you've been really stressed, and I know how well like you sleep so much better after, you spend the night. I'm just like, and Nahri's like fold. And then they get her interrupted. Like, I love when he's so he can be so charming.
He can be so charming. And I'm so excited to see exactly what Daevabad without magic, but with Muqtadir, what will that look like? Because like Manai's is there. The sky is shattering. Magic is failing. The fires are going out. Manaiza is pissed off at Nahri.
And they're also like, this is where they're like, it's like a shield is breaking around the city. So I'm imagining it like the shield in Wakanda. Like nobody knows that they exist. Nobody knows that they're there, because then we flash forward to the epilogue and they're back in Cairo, and he has this, and then Ali has the ring. And the thing we know about Suleiman's seal and the ring is you cannot leave Daevabad. Like you are supposed to, like, you cannot want to travel. Your heart and your soul literally belongs to that city. That is what you're promising by like having the ring and ruling over everything. So he at this point is in pain because he needs to get back to where the ring is calling him to.
And he can't control it. He's like kind of sick. He's like in and out. He doesn't know what's going on. And Nari's like, we're in Egypt, my guy. Like,
yeah, she's like, what's the lesson? She's like, I'm home.
I'm home.
Yeah, and you're like, but this is I'm so excited to start book 3.
It's like a full circle moment, right?
Yeah,
like,
because earlier in this book, they were like, this is your home. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. This is not my home.
So that is the end. I think it's pretty safe to say that we very much enjoyed this book, yeah?
Oh, so much. So much. It's so good. I love the relationships. I love in every capacity, because it's not like you kind of have romantic relationships, but not really. But you have like the sibling dynamics and then like the female camaraderie. And you also, it's good. It's good. And I feel like there's a meme that we've shared back and forth where people just say like, you know what? Yeah, you have some crappy books and you get so disappointed, but you just enjoy reading altogether. But when you have good books like this, you're constantly chasing that high of like, well, now I need to read more and read the next book in the series and then find another one like that, because you're just hoping to relive that excitement that pulls you in.
It does. It does pull you in. And I think the tagline on the front of the book says, even a few pages will enmesh you in its magic. Robin Hood says that. And I agree. I agree completely. I am sucked in. I don't think I mentioned this before. When I read this initially, I read it through the library. I went through all 3 of them back to back to back. I didn't stop. I just like kept going. So rereading them has helped me kind of bookend like where book 1 stops and where book 2 starts and stops. And that's been very helpful too, to kind of like reflect on the entire plot as a whole, because I'll be honest, I don't remember specifics. So like when Manaiza was like experimenting with the smoke, I was like, oh yeah, that happens later. What is that? So it's just really good, because there are a lot of details that you could get hung up on if you don't kind of like allow yourself to go with the story. And I know that was something that you not struggled with, but were aware of in the first book.
No, yes, agreed. I also think I struggled with it a little bit, because I think based on other fantasy books, when you get caught up with certain names or you hyper focus on the wrong things. You're like, wait. So I love that, because this is not even just your second reread. Like this is like 2.5 for you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those great things that come with fantasy, that you can appreciate the second ring because reads and more, because you're not so you already know where it's kind of going, and you kind of now you can look at the details of like, oh, okay, that's right, there's this person, but he's not, just because he's named, he's not as significant as we might think he is, and maybe he will be in book 3, who knows. But just to have like an overall purview, so you know the direction, it's so refreshing because there's a lot going on in both of these books. That being said, please feel free to follow us on ACOFAE Podcast on Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. We're also both on TikTok, ACOFAE Laura and ACOFAE Jessica. And feel free to review us on any of your listening platforms. And we look forward to talking to y'all soon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.